Hey, Anton from GT Canada here again. We're going to be working on the Ford Flex. This is a 2009 model, and those of you that have a 2009, you know what I'm talking about when I say the sway bar bushings. So for whatever reason, they're different than every other year of Flex. And today we're going to tackle this job. I'm going to show you how to convert it to the same bushings as the 2010 and up Flex, and you'll save a lot of money. And you're going to save a lot of time as well. So stay tuned and check this out. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get your Flex up in the air. So what I've done, I've jacked it up by this right here. So that's strong enough, you can throw your jack on there and then lift it up high enough that the wheels come off the ground, and then you can throw your jack stand underneath there. So you want to hold that up on jack stands. We're going to do this to both sides. So you can see if we come around, we've got the same thing on this side. Now don't pay attention to all the dirt. We're up in Canada. It's winter. There's a lot of snow, salt, all that stuff. So your car is hopefully going to look a lot cleaner than mine does when you're looking underneath here. But this is what you should see. The wheels off underneath the frame, just in case it falls off of your jack stands. And then we're ready to have a look. Now the first thing you're going to be asking yourself is, well, how do I know if I need to be even looking at my sway bar bushings? So this is the sway bar bushing right here. And you can see, I don't even need to do a whole lot here. It moves under my hands. I can actually slide it this way, and when I'm driving, you hear that clunking? I hear that going over bumps. I hear that going when I'm on the highway and I step on the gas. I hear that my wheels, they pull really hard to the right, and then when I'm back underway, then I'm fine. But if I hit kind of the crown of the road a little bit off one side or the other, then the car pulls that way. And I think that that's because this sway bar is not supposed to be doing that. So I'm going to take the bolts out here, that one and that one, with just a wrench, and then we're going to see what we can see after that. Okay, so it's been a lot longer than I care to admit, and I'm starting to make some progress here. So I got the bolt on this side out. This is the driver's side. That just, you can fit a 13 millimeter socket on there, or half-inch socket, but also this is the head of the bolt. So 13 or half will fit on the outside, but on the inside you can see it will take a socket as well. And so what I'm using for the other side of the driver's side, you can't see it so great, that is a T50 Torx head socket. I'll show you here. So this is a T50 Torx head socket, and there's not enough room to get your wrench in there. So what I've done is taken my, I don't even know what this is. You can see that 5/16 inch wrench, and then all I did was put this over top of it and put it inside of it like that. And then that allows me to go in and turn like this. In, turn, in, turn. So I still have all of my links connected. I don't want to screw around with those because those are fine. So there's no point in me pulling those off. Now, it may only take a second to take them off, and I might regret this later, because if I did have it off, then I could lift that bar up. But the problem on this side is not the bar, it's the power steering lines that are above it. You can see right there. They're just in the way. You can't get anything in there. So this is what I'm working on right now. I imagine the other side's going to be about the same using my fancy little tool. So I'm going to keep working at that till I get this out, and then we'll jump back in. Okay, so it turns out I did mislead you a little bit. This is still the driver's side. You can see we don't have this out all the way yet, but what we do have is enough space to get a socket, as long as I've got two short extensions on here and I've got enough room to move a ratchet in there. What you might find is when you need to break this loose, because mine was very tight. So to break it loose, what I had to do was use that jig that you saw earlier a few seconds ago, and I put a snipe on it and I was able to break that loose. Once I cracked it loose and had about a quarter turn on it, then I was able to use that ratchet there, and I'm just going to finish taking it out now. So you might save yourself a little bit of time if you just jump right to this, but that wasn't the case for me. So now we're on to the passenger side. We got the driver's side off, the bolts out. So now what we've done here, you can see there's a heat shield there. I had to bend that out of the way in order to get my socket on here. I've got the 13 mil socket. You can use a 1/2 inch if you're in America. And just throw your socket on there, and then I've got a pipe on here so that I've got enough leverage to get out. And there's enough room on this side to get a socket on both sides of this, 13 mil or 1/2 inch. And mine were tight. I was trying to use the Torx head here, but it was just stripping out, so I went to the socket, which gets a little bit better bite as long as you can stay straight on it. So I'm going to just keep going on this, and then I'll start again in a sec. Okay, so as you can see here, we're back on the driver's side. We got all the bolts out. We ended up having to take the sway bar link, which is right here, out. And how we did that was with a 3/4 inch wrench and a 5/16 wrench. And all you're going to do is put the 5/16 on the end of the bolt that goes through to hold it, and then that allows you to turn the 3/4 nut without spinning it in the boot. So that'll keep you from wrecking your link, so that you don't have to buy new links. So you just do that, make sure you stabilize it, get both sides done, and then that allows you to slide your sway bar out of here. So we've slid the sway bar out to here, as you can see. Here's our bushing, and on this one, it's just been welded through these holes. So we're going to drill those welds out, and then this should come apart in 2 pieces and allow us to put the new one on. So now that it's drilled out, what we've done is we used a punch or a chisel, and we just got it right in here like this and just pound it. It took about 3 or 4 pounds, but it eventually split, and then that just falls right off. So now we have a 2-piece system similar to what the newer ones would have. Here I'm on the passenger side. So I was able, there's enough play on this side and probably the other side, that I was able to just slide this up and around the corner. The sway bar is pretty much where it would normally be. So with that room there, I'm going to just drill these ones out and then pound it with the chisel, just like I did on the other side. So this is the box Moog K200520 bushing kit, made in USA, and I believe this is the kit for the newer Ford Flex. When you get it, you're going to get it in a bag, and it's going to have one that says passenger side and one that says driver's side. I don't know where that is right now. Okay, so we're going to have a problem with these ones. These tabs here won't fit in the new bracket, so I'm just going to hack those off with my knife, something like that. Remember, always use a sharp knife. then it should fit into our 2009 bracket. Okay, so you can see how it's going to fit in here now, more or less. There's this little tab right here though that we need to carve some material away. So what we're going to do, just line it up like that, and use my Sharpie to mark where I need to take the material away, and then I can use that knife just to carve a little angle to it, and then that'll allow me to get, we want this tab still there so that it locks it in place. We don't want this sliding out or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do next. So here we are looking at the completed and finished modified bushings. So they don't look like much, but they will go back in and they will cinch down and hold that thing super tight, and it's going to be awesome. So we're going to do an assembly and then give it a test run. So here we are, we've got the start of our modified bushing going in. And you can see we've got our ratchet coming through like what I showed you earlier. And we're just going to start tightening this down. You want to make sure you tighten it evenly, so a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other, and it's going to seat just fine. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, now we are on the driver's side, and we're going to have a look. So this is our finished bushing. Not the best shot here. There, how's that? So you can see it actually bolted down flat, no shims, no spacers. This is the original boot or shoe or whatever you want to call it that was holding the original bushing. And I'll show you in a second. You remember at the beginning of the video when I grabbed this and yanked on it, it moved like crazy. Don't mind the vibration and the shaking from me. But you can see that's not going nowhere. So that's going to solve our clunking issue for sure. So this install is pretty much complete. That's how you do a conversion for the 2009 Ford Flex. And I just got to put the wheels back on and go for the road test. So how do you know if you have a problem with your sway bar? You will notice it as a clunk going over bumps, riding on rough roads. I noticed it as it was kind of pulling one way or another under acceleration. So that should all be gone now because this is going to lock those wheels right where they're supposed to be. Hey, thanks for watching another GT Canada video. We got lots of great stuff in store, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you can stay up to date on all the latest stuff as we upload it. Comment below and watch the next video.